how will these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with what the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning. This is a happy Friday, the last Friday as well of this year. But let's talk about markets because work will go on. So Darshan, what is the market setup looking like today?
Morning, Sonal. So the cues that we are getting from global front are looking mixed at this point for last trading day of 2023. So US indices saw a flat close after a range-bound session, but the positive cues are coming from crude, with both Brent and NYMEX falling 3% each overnight as tensions at the Red Sea have eased further. Onto our market, it was another day of record sessions. Sensex, Nifty and Nifty Bank have hit their fresh intraday highs, and Nifty has crossed 21,800 for the first time. Mid-caps, though, have relatively underperformed, and that was the reason market breadth was slightly in favor of declines. Onto institutional activities, FIs are buying even at these levels. If you look at yesterday's FI figure, they have bought shares of rupees 4,359, while sell figure for DIs were just rupees 137 crore. GIFT Nifty for today is indicating a start with minor gains, but it would be at record high. And for stocks to watch, autos will be in focus ahead of their monthly sales number, and also I'll be watching for oil marketing companies on two reports. First, sharp fall in crude and reports around price cut.
Okay, all right. Of course, those stocks, they have been surging in how. Thank you so much, Sudarshan, for joining us with all those cues. But Hormaz is joining us now. Hormaz, is the list as long as any other day?
It always is, isn't it? Even if it is the last day of the year, regardless of it. Start off with some PSU banks today, and Punjab National Bank yesterday in its board meeting announced that it plans to raise around 7,500 crore rupees in FY25 via QIP and other methods. And additionally, it has already raised 1,150 crore rupees through the issue of 81 bonds, which is at a coupon of 8.5% per annum. And Bank of Baroda, if you're a depositor, there's some good news for you. The bank has revised some retail term deposit rates for various tenors higher by 125 basis points, a steep hike there. Three banks will be in focus: IDFC First, IndusInd and RBL Bank, all three of them, because the Reserve Bank of India has given approval to ICICI Prudential, AMC and ICICI Prudential Life to cumulatively acquire up to 9.95% stake in all these three lenders. Swan Energy, where the board has approved raising 4,000 crore rupees via QIP and other ways. Azad Engineering, which listed yesterday, some marquee investors there. It has another addition to that. The Abu Dhabi Investment Authority has bought close to 4 lakh shares in the company yesterday at around 719, which is the listing around about the listing price. ICICI Lombard, it had received a show cause notice earlier. Now it has received an order for the GST demand for almost 1,700 crore rupees and a penalty worth 170 crore rupees additionally. Satin Credit Care, it has entered into a co-lending agreement with Karnataka Bank to lend to microfinance borrowers. Aditya Birla Fashion has increased its stake in a subsidiary from 58% to 63%. Info Edge will invest 25 crore rupees in a subsidiary. And lastly, Shree Cement will hold a board meeting on the 31st of January to consider an interim dividend. Back to you.
Yes, the list is as long as the year itself, Hormaz. So thank you so much for that. But a lot of action in the F&O space as well. Manglam is joining us now. Hey, Manglam.
Well, I will say Happy New Year, largely because in the F&O space, the new year has started already. We are welcoming Jan 2024 series. The only thing about January is that it's a relatively softer month, because if you just take a look at the last 5 Jan series, 4 of them have been on the obverse side, but not by much, just about 1.5%. We've seen last positive Jan series come by in Jan 19 itself. And this also on the back of the kind of moves that we've seen in both December as well as November. Nifty was up almost 1,650 points in the December series, which is the highest absolute point gain that we've seen in the market in the history. And the last 2 series itself, we've added nearly 3,000 points. Nifty's 8.2% gain in this series is the best since February 2021. So definitely this was a record-breaking series, as we saw and as we experienced as well. But with this record-breaking series, the FIs have rolled over their positions. The overall market positions have been rolled over much higher than the last 3 months as well. So nearly 80% of the positions have been rolled over as compared to last 3 months average of 77.5%. Those are the series moves, and now we have the rollovers on your screen. Importantly, not only are the rollovers higher, the open interest also is on the heavier side, close to around 1.29 crore shares. The last 3-month average is just about 1 crore shares. So rollovers higher, positioning on the higher side by about 30-odd%, and most of these positions are on the long side itself. The FIs start Jan 2024 with a 70% long exposure. That's the highest that we've seen in the last many months. And here's where the bit of a concern is. Why is that? Because if you take a look at it, the last 4 or 5 times the FIs have started the series with 70% or more long exposure, we've seen a bit of a dip in the series itself. Case in point, December 2021, the FI started with 70% longs. The Nifty was down 330 points. We had December 2022 as well, 77% long exposure. The Nifty was down 300 points. Jan 2024 starts with 70%. Let's see where we go as well. What would be the key triggers then? The third quarter results and commentary, most important. Pre-budget conversations. This time around, it's a vote on account. So let's see how that pans out. And global markets and yields are something that we'll be watching out for too.
January feels like the Monday of the week, right? But guys, thank you so much for joining us and prepping us up for the trading day ahead. Time for a short break now. When we return, market regulator SEBI has released a consultation paper on clarifying market rumors. We'll get you all the highlights on the other side. Stay tuned.